Hey, nice dudes. As you can tell, this is not a regular episode of our podcast, Movies That Changed Us. Chris is actually going through something really personal right now, so we weren't able to get an episode out in time for today, but we decided we could do something fun. If you're part of our Patreon, and specifically if you're part of our $5 tier, we upload weekly commentary tracks. Every Sunday, we upload a commentary track to a movie where that's part of a series that our patrons voted on. We've done the Nolan Batman series. We've done the Back to the Future movies. We've done Adam Sandler classics. And they're a great hang, really, because Chris and I have already, most of the time, we've already seen these movies. Sometimes we haven't. Right now, we're doing the Jurassic Park series, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom we hadn't seen. But they're just a really fun hang. And this one that you're about to listen to is a commentary track to the first Raimi Spider-Man movie. We did 2 and 3. You can find that on our Patreon if you're interested. But we thought we'd share this one with you guys because the first Raimi Spider-Man movie is just, for Chris and I, so special. It is just like a formative movie. So yeah, have the movie in front of you, and when we transition to this track, you're gonna hear Chris do a countdown. And so you'll know when to press play and watch along. And if you don't have the movie in front of you, I mean, this is still like a great fun listen, and maybe you could listen to it as a podcast if it interests you. And we hope you enjoy it. Stay nice.
What's up, nice dudes? I'm Altaf.
And I'm Chris.
Welcome to another Nice Dude commentary track. Today, we're watching Spooderman.
Spooderman.
We're watching it on Disney Plus. We're just gonna get straight to it right away. We're watching it on Disney Plus. So if you have that, you can pull it up. Chris is gonna do a countdown, and when he says play, you hit play.
All right, guys. Hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, wow.
I don't really know what there is to say. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is one of the, it's such a perfect superhero movie.
Yeah, it kind of is. You know, I will say, a couple months ago, or maybe more than a couple months ago, you and I got to see this in theaters.
Yeah. I know. It was pretty awesome. And we've seen Spider-Man 2 in theaters when they did a screening of it on film.
Oh, yeah, we saw that
cool.
Spider-Man 2 in New Beverly, but there was something really fun about seeing Spider-Man 1 in theaters we saw it at an AMC, and it was just like it almost borderline was like a Rocky Horror show.
It was a community experience.
By the way, guys, if we're accidentally interrupting each other or there's like this weird thing going on, Chris and I are not in person right now, so just letting y'all know.
Yeah, we're doing this virtually, unfortunately, but it's the best we got to do. It should be fine, though.
By the way, I have this theory that, like, every movie should start this way. Because, like, look how fucking awesome these opening credits are.
Oh, I know. Danny Elfman just goes so hard.
I know. And just, like, these webs and everything. It's so beautifully early 2000s, you know?
I know. But you know what? I will say, this is one of those scores, too, that is, like, it just feels like, it feels like an extension of Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's part of Spider-Man's DNA.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because, like, after these 3 Raimi Spider-Man movies we're doing, we're moving on to the Nolan Batman trilogy, right? And that score, the Hans Zimmer score for Batman, feels like an extension of Batman as well. You know?
Exactly.
Oh my God! You just see Spider-Man's body slowly show up. Oh man, Goblin!
It's so nostalgic, you know. I think
both
of us owned this movie on DVD, right? You owned it, right?
Oh yeah, both of us owned this on DVD. Both of us played the video game. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I literally am staring at a huge fat Sam Raimi Spider-Man poster right now.
I know. Do you remember? Did you ever use like the cheat codes on the Spider-Man game?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember? Did you ever use the one where you play as Green Goblin?
Yeah, dude.
Isn't that crazy that they actually put like there's a whole like what if variation of the game story where you're Green Goblin. And they added in voiceover for like who plays as him, and like recontextualize the story, whole new set of controls, and it's done through a cheat code.
The amount of work they put in for something like a gag.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's our boy,
Here
Sam
we go.
Raimi.
I know, right?
Yes. I want to know. Somebody lied. God damn.
I know. It's such efficient storytelling. I mean, it's, voiceovers are kind of frowned upon nowadays, but I think they tastefully do it.
But this feels like a comic book,
Yeah.
Also, my first crush, Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I gotta say, I watched Civil War, and I'm like, damn, man, she still got it. Like, she's still beautiful.
Wait, Civil War? What are you talking about?
Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Captain America Civil War. You're talking about the Civil War movie. Yeah, okay, the other one.
Which is, I think it's a wrong movie to be like, Kirsten Dunst still looking beautiful, but hey, man, she looks great.
Hey, fair enough. I always loved how much they just blatantly hate Peter.
Also, the bus driver, too.
Oh, I know. It's like they just can't stand him. He's just such a dork that they just fucking hate him.
I think something we should get out of the way is when you and I saw No Way Home together, obviously the hype of seeing Andrew Garfield, but there was like a collective experience between you and me and then other people, specifically our age, that like had a like true emotional experience when Tobey Maguire showed up.
Oh, I know.
And we were all like
such weight.
And we were all like over analyzing it. We were like, "Oh my god, look! He doesn't like show up in the Spider-Man suit. He shows up in a regular everyman costume because that feels like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man,
Yeah, exactly. He just feels like Peter Parker.
Oh, it's so nice, I love this gag so much.
Oh, I know. It's so uncomfortable.
Oh, is this like? Are we about to see Willem Dafoe in this scene?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah! Okay.
That's how we meet him.
Again, there's such a cult status with the movie, not only because of the memes, but because of just how iconic this movie is. That when Willem Dafoe showed up in the theaters when we were seeing the re-release of Spider-Man, everyone immediately started laughing.
I know. It's such efficient storytelling here too. Like how immediately he doesn't even want to be dropped off in front. There's already a wedge between him and his dad.
Oh yeah, it's so fucked up that he immediately relates to Peter and not his own son.
Yeah.
Just forgets his backpack is really funny to me.
Here we go. Why is that line so iconic?
So here's
what
the thing.
is it about that line?
Because it's the way he says it. It's the way he nods his head as he's saying it. It's just so funny.
Yeah. This is kind of like every millennial's introduction to Willem Dafoe.
That is so true. It's funny.
Oh,
Well,
also coming up.
Go ahead.
I was going to say coming up. There's going to be a lady that's giving them a tour, and we just did a podcast in the Truman Show, and
No way.
that's her. She's one of the ladies, that's standing next to Ed Harris.
Paul Giamatti. She's in the control panel, right?
Yeah,
Dude, you should have brought that up in the podcast. I completely forgot about that.
I know. We covered a lot in that show, so I forgot.
I mean, that was a good episode. It's not going to be out by the time this comes out, but still.
Yeah, it's coming out next Monday by the time this comes out.
Yeah, sneak preview, Truman Show is my number one favorite movie, so watch out for that podcast.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Dude, I remember that delivery so much. For the school paper? He's so timid.
I know. Again, Tobey Maguire just nails it, right? Like, it's just one of those things where I think they did such a good job, and it's really obvious, and everything about this movie's been said, but they did such a good job creating like the dichotomy between Peter Parker and Spider-Man. But not only that, though, is that like this version of Peter Parker is actually like actively kind to his friends and just has trouble showing up for them.
Well, okay, a scene that I love so much is when he finally beats up like Flash and everything, right? He has that whole like fist fight.
Yeah.
Because it's so against his character, everyone's disturbed more than they celebrate him.
Yeah.
Like, they're more just like, what the fuck was that, man? And it's like that moment, and then obviously it leads to the great power, great responsibility thing. But it's just like Peter's so kind that when he goes out of character, everyone's disturbed, which is such a great like thing to reinforce, you know?
Yeah, and I think like I'm not gonna just bitch about Tom Holland Spider-Man. I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but I do have some problems with his writing that I'm not gonna be able to help but kind of bring up and compare, and how I do find this variation of Spider-Man to be superior. You know, in terms of writing and compelling character and all that good stuff. I think it's just a more mature portrayal of Spider-Man.
And to make it clear, obviously you and I have nostalgia, so we're going to be a bit biased. But I think like outside of the nostalgia, I think it's pretty like you can confidently say that this is a better written character.
Yeah, by far. I think the thing I'm going to bring up, I've told you this Altaf like a gajillion times, but for listeners, the biggest kind of thing that I think makes this version of Spider-Man better is that Peter Parker is someone who struggles with showing up for his friends, and it actually negatively affects his relationship with them. Like, not everything, like, it feels like Peter Parker's not the center of the universe in this version of Spider-Man. In the Tom Holland version, everything's centered around Peter. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about what Zendaya wants to do, and the whole time she's just still supportive of him, even though both her and Ned can't get into their colleges, but they're like, it's all right, we'll get through this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was going to say that in No Way Home, I feel like they do it the best because, like, Peter so desperately is trying to, like, make sure his friends get into college just because it's his fuck up that they aren't able to.
Yeah.
And so that's the one movie where it feels like a selfless thing that he's doing. But your point is very valid.
Yeah, but even then, it doesn't feel like the stakes are there because they're both okay with it and forgiving of him. In Spider-Man 2, when Peter Parker can't show up to Mary Jane's play, when he can, when he's not being a good friend to Harry, and all that stuff, his relationships are falling apart, and that's more realistic. Like, that's what's going to happen. Your friend's not showing up for you, and you don't know why. It just feels like you're not prioritized.
Yeah, no. You're completely right. It's
different though because they, in Tom Holland's, they know he's Spider-Man, so they know why.
Which is an issue I always had. Like, yeah. And I understand that they don't want to tread the same waters that all the other Spider-Man movies have, but it is. I'm like, there's this, the secret identity aspect is like a big part of the story for a reason. But yeah. I just want to point out that whole sequence with him taking a photo with MJ and like being so wide-eyed and open-mouthed for her, feels like I just love that this movie's not afraid to be so sincere and cheesy, you know?
I know. That's the biggest thing everyone says about this when they criticize it, right? They're like, well, the old one's cheesy. I'm like, yeah, it's a Spider-Man movie, man. You're not fooling anyone. They're Spider-Man. Like,
for me, that's not a bug. That's a feature, you know?
Exactly. That's totally how I see it.
Like, it always annoys me when people are like, this one's kind of boring or this one's kind of cheesy. And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. This is why this movie stands the test of time for me, is because it's so sincere. And maybe as I get older, I'm looking for more sincere stuff because we're surrounded by stuff that's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's always, let's make a joke about it.
Yeah, and it's so wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the audience.
Yeah, and that's what always bothers me about kind of the Marvel Spider-Man movies, just because it kind of can be that. I remember Infinity War commentary. I love that movie so much. But the one joke that always bothered me was when he was like, how can I be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man when there's no neighborhood? Now, that's a great Spider-Man line, right? And then immediately afterwards, he's like, okay, that didn't make sense. But anyways, you know what I'm saying. And I'm like, no, that did make sense. And that was actually very sincere.
Yeah, I think like it connects with, I wonder if there's just a generational gap, because I feel like Zoomers' sense of humor is so hyper self-aware. You know what I mean? And so,
but if that was the case, then like, why did RRR do so well? Why did Everything Everywhere All at Once do so well? Why did Top Gun Maverick do so well?
No. Those movies weren't for Zoomers, though, is what I'm trying to say. You
but Zoomers went out to see them and they loved it.
Oh, for sure. But I'm more just saying that Marvel is probably more, like, especially Tom Holland is more for Zoomers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. He is our generation, but you're right.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying his audience is younger people. People younger than he is.
Yeah, I think I'm just like, I guess I'm pushing back a little bit on Zoomers just want that kind of stuff because I know they show up for other stuff, and so it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm more just trying to say I think it's just that it connects with younger people more. That type of humor is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's probably something that like it's never going to connect with me as well. Yeah, fair enough.
And same here. Same here. It doesn't connect with me.
Okay, let's just talk about Aunt May and Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I know, right? God, they're so fucking old. There is Uncle and Aunt. I'm just laughing because there is Uncle and Aunt, and he's in high school, and his Uncle and Aunt are like in their 70s.
I just think it works, though. I like that they're old.
It's amazing. No, I want to cry looking at them. I love them. Trust me, Aunt May is like one of my favorite movie mom figures in cinema.
She really dials it. Like, her performance is so fucking good in the second one, too. Oh, my God, it's so good. Like,
and his relationship with Peter Parker is so sincere.
Uncle Ben's?
Yeah.
I am so obsessed with their house. Like, it feels like my grandparents' house. Like, the floral wall patterns, the old furniture, like, it all feels so lived in and genuine, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know. I had a calendar. I had a Spider-Man themed calendar where every, like, month was a different screenshot from Spider-Man. And
from
one
this
of them,
movie?
From this movie, yeah.
Wow,
and
what
one
a
of
great
them
gift.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But there's one that's just, it's mid... you know when Peter runs down the stairs and like runs along the wall?
Oh yeah, of course.
It was just a screenshot of like him mid-run.
Oh, that's pretty solid. You know, I will say this movie's so iconic that if you watch Into the Spider-Verse, it even uses this house as a reference point when they go to Aunt May's house.
Oh yeah, it totally does.
Oh my God, I love it cuts to his DNA. It's so sick. It's so sick.
It's so Sam Raimi too.
Oh, I know. I mean, look at how Oscorp looks.
This big bottle of green goo.
That's the thing I love about Sam Raimi, man. It's that he's like, no, we're making a comic book movie, so let's do it. Let's like actually go for it.
You know what's funny is like, we don't have to talk too much about No Way Home because this is a commentary on the first Spider-Man, but I do love how in No Way Home when they do, this is like one meta thing that I do really like, is when they just talk about their experiences with villains before. How like Peter, like Tobey Maguire's Peter's like, yeah, there was an alien covered in black goo. It just makes it sound so stupid when you say it out loud.
Well, my favorite bit is Andrew Garfield being like, y'all fought cool villains. I fought like this rhino, like this metal rhino.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, no, and he fell in a pool of electric eels.
And he's like, and then Peter's just like, can we go back to the like, lame thing? You're amazing.
Yeah, the self-talk, we need to work on that.
That's what I love, going back to the whole Peter's kind, that's what I love about his appearance in No Way Home. The Tobey Maguire Peter's so, like, supportive and kind.
Yeah. I know.
They,
Again,
knew how to write his character. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, we'll get those scenes momentarily when we get to the scenes between him and Mary Jane. Like, that's really where you see his wings spread.
Him taking out the trash and talking to Mary Jane, like, that scene makes me cry.
I know, right? Because he has such a gentle kindness to him.
Oh, okay. I mean, this is like an all-time Willem Dafoe scene.
Back to formula.
Dude, the theater was like electrically charged during this scene. Everyone was so psyched to see Willem Dafoe freak the fuck out. Also, I gotta say though, this scene as a kid freaked me out, man.
Oh, I know. It is a pretty disturbing scene.
As an adult, it makes me like giddy, but like when I was a kid, I actually was scared.
You might there were a couple parts where my parents just covered my eyes watching.
Yeah, this moment freaked me out. Like him like appearing in smoke, like shaking.
Oh yeah, when you see his eyes rolling back and all that.
Did your parents cover your eyes during this scene?
It was after when he starts strangling his assistant.
Okay, makes sense. Oh, this poor guy, man.
I know. That's what it's like. He was like really just trying to help his friend. He was so scared. He didn't want to do this from the beginning.
Look at his face. He's like crying. Like he gives such a great performance for these 2 minutes he's in. Yes.
I love the crash zoom. I wonder how long they had to work on that. It's like, okay, now,
Or do you think Raimi's just so skilled at it? Like, he's so good at that type of filmmaking.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, I love the hero and villain. Like, they're going through the same arc right now. Like, they're both transforming.
Yeah, and they both thematically connect too, obviously, just because what they both, want to do with their newfound powers. And, it's pretty simple, but it works really effectively.
It's kind of like, this is going to be a weird pull. It's when we were doing our podcast on International Man of Mystery, how we were talking about Dr. Evil and Austin Powers throughout the entire movie are going through a similar arc, but in different ways. This movie's kind of doing a similar thing.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if
jacked.
Austin Powers is what inspired Sam Raimi with this movie.
Yeah, I wonder if you can connect them together.
Oh, dude, guess what? I found out recently through a podcast that there's a bar themed. There was a bar back in 2019 that was Austin Powers themed.
Oh, that's incredible.
In Glendale, man.
And it's not open anymore?
No. You know what it was called?
What?
Electric Pussycat.
Hell yeah.
And there was there were people in costumes that would go around, chill at people at the bar. There would be like the bartender that was Fat Bastard, and there would be like Austin Powers that would hang out with people. And I'm like, imagine like hanging out with your buddies and Austin comes around. And I'm like, oh, I would love that.
I would light up. My day would be made.
Okay, I always remember that he called him Michelangelo, and for some reason, you know how you remember very weird, specific things from movies when that you watched as a kid?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So I always remember the shot of him reading the paper that says Michelangelo meatloaf's in the oven. Huh. For some reason, that just stuck with me.
Yeah, that comes up later.
Oh, I love how his dad is like cartoonishly bad. Like he has a wife beater on.
He's awful.
But it feels like a comic book interpretation of an abusive dad.
Oh, yeah, like a shitty East Coast abusive dad.
Oh, this is so... They repeat this gag so often where he thinks like MJ's waiting for him or MJ's waving to him and then suddenly someone else comes in.
Oh, I know. I know. It's good Sam Raimi humor that comes back in the sequels too. Like how every time at the party he reaches for food, it gets taken away or the drinks.
Yeah. Apparently Sam Raimi's a huge fan of like shit like... Three Musketeers or like silent films like Chaplin and you can see it in all his movies. He has all these like visual gags,
Yeah. Which, I mean, it works perfectly. It's just super efficient storytelling.
Oh, this is great too. I'll always remember his hand getting stuck into this thing.
Yeah, and how fast he keeps up with it, like how he just sprints.
God, this sequence is so good of him realizing his powers. It always works for me. It's so much fun. Yeah. We don't get that in superheroes movies anymore, and maybe it's because we've had so many that a lot of movies don't want to do origin stories anymore. I've always said that I'm a huge fan of origin stories. I know a lot of people are sick of them, but my favorite Ant-Man movie is the first one, My favorite Iron Man movie is the first one. It's just like I love like the montage of superheroes figuring out their powers.
Yeah, and it also creates the most compelling arc too.
Yeah,
because you learn like you see them like they have the strongest reprioritizing of their values, if that makes any sense.
Exactly. And like the thing of the compliment that Homecoming always got was that like, oh, so glad they're not just showing Uncle Ben dying. But in my opinion, I'm like, well, that shit's important though to his character.
Yeah, well, it's also weird that they just never mention him too.
Oh, that's
like,
weird.
Okay, yeah, if they don't want to show him, fair enough. I understand that's been done, but it's weird that they don't want you to feel the effects of it either.
Almost like it felt like they were avoiding him. Like they were
yeah.
Yeah, which is so weird. I guess they were trying to put more importance on Aunt May. But I'm not going to
get into that, right? Oh, here we go.
Did you know that he caught
reflexes.
that?
I know, right?
That's basically this movie's version of the Lord of the Rings, like Aragorn
the toe
meme. Yeah, because Tobey Maguire did catch that in like on camera, which is insane.
Yeah, I know. It's just such common knowledge at this point. Everyone's like, "Hey,
that smile is so good, dude." Dude, I cannot tell you how big of a crush I had on MJ in this movie. Like, I was watching this movie, the way Tobey Maguire looks at her, I was looking at her. Like, I was like, oh, man. And it's such a perfect, like, first crush for a kid to have, like, to be MJ.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. We wanted our MJ, you know? Oh, here we go.
Oh. It hits Flash, right?
Oh, yeah. He flings it by accident. Which, to be fair, like, logically, why did he do that?
Okay, I gotta say.
Why did he just fling it?
The importance of it being, like, corn and green peas or whatever is such a Sam Raimi move because he knows that's going to be visually interesting to see the corn stuck on his white shirt.
Yeah, more fun than just a sandwich or something.
It's just shit that he's good at that not many people think of, you know?
Yeah, just the little things that just enhance it.
We didn't even mention, but in the bus, that guy eating a donut, the fact that the jelly goes out the other way, that's like a Sam Raimi joke.
Totally. Oh, this part's so cool, too.
Oh, it still holds up, too. It's amazing how it still holds up.
Yeah.
The slow-mo of the fly, yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
I remember how like much I didn't agree with the Andrew Garfield's portrayal of Spider-Sense.
Oh,
How
how
they
did
made
they
it like
show
those
it?
quick
I forget.
flashes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot
He's
about
like
that.
in the subway. Remember when it's like, "Wachoo, wachoo, wachoo," and he's like, doesn't know what's going on.
I will say Andrew Garfield makes those scenes funny. Like, his performance makes them, like, funny. But, like, the
Yeah.
way it's edited and shot is very, like... Yeah, it's not as exciting as this movie shows them.
Yeah, and they don't really bring it up again, and I wish they did in Tom Holland Spider-Man, but how he has to wear the goggles because his senses get very overloaded and overstimulated easily.
It's a good idea that doesn't really get brought up often, yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of wish that was like, to me, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting new take, but it still feels like Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting that if he wasn't wearing the goggles, to see him getting overwhelmed.
Yeah. Okay, this part's so cool. How satisfying was this for everyone?
Yes, I love that.
If you rewatch it, the teacher's like, oh, now's my chance.
Yeah, see, I love how everyone's kind of scared of him. Except James Franco.
Yeah, he's like, wow.
I used to be very critical of Harry in this movie. I've come around to that. I do think Harry's better in the second movie, but that's only because he has more to do in the second movie.
Yeah, 100%, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think,
okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say real quick, I love everyone's reaction as well because it enhances just kind of him needing to be responsible with his powers, that he could become a monster if he just uses it for his own selfish revenge game. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's who Spider-Man is. Oh,
Here we go.
man, the little spikes from his thumb. I remember that. God, it's so cool.
And the
Dude,
Danny Elfman coming in.
Think about this, man. This was like, if you don't count the cheesy TV shows and everything, not the animated shows, but the live action weird stuff that they tried to do. Yeah. This was like the first interpretation of Spider-Man in a movie. Like, so Sam Raimi,
like a blockbuster movie, yeah.
So Sam Raimi and team had to really be like, okay, how are we going to show this? You know, in an era where comic book movies weren't as popular as they are now.
Yeah,
This is big dumper. Look at him. Dude, it's so good. Look at Toby's face. He's so excited.
Oh, that's so nostalgic.
I know, man. Oh, see, that shot right there. Kids just playing jump rope down while he's jumping over them. That feels like he's in New York. Like, it's Spider-Man's is like every kid's hero. It just all ties it together, you know? It could be anyone. Anyone could wear the mask the way Spider-Verse said. It's like the shit that like they thought about in this movie stands the test of time.
Yeah, I know, man. It holds up so well. This part's so cool, too. Up, and away, web!
The fun thing to do is to watch the sequence in different languages. Like, people posted this on YouTube of, like, seeing this sequence in Hindi and seeing the sequence in, like, French, you know?
Oh, okay. I never thought of that. That's funny.
People cheered during this scene.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, like, when we saw the re-release in theaters, everyone was, like... everyone was so psyched. There was a guy next to me in theater that was just doing, like, a podcast next to us, it felt like. Do you remember that guy? Mm-hmm. Where he was just like, he was getting drunk, like, he kept getting more drinks to the, like, theater bar, but, like, he was just like, it's so good, look at the villain, it's so well written. I'm like, I was like, dude, we all get it. We're enjoying it, but just like, shut the fuck up. Like Chris and I do this professionally, but we're still not doing it in a theater, you know?
Yeah, exactly. There's a critical difference. We've gotten comments that said that, like, I can't imagine you guys in theaters. I was like, you think we just act that way in theaters like we do when we're in the safety of our homes doing a video?
Chris can tell you, I'm like borderline a little too much when it comes to not doing that. Like I will shut off.
I know.
I will shut off my phone. I will comfortably get mad at people, like vocally, if they're talking in a theater.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not like a reaction channel. He just Michelangelo, and it's like he just got his powers and he already missed his responsibilities.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He's not even fully Spider-Man yet. Oh man, it's so like brilliant how now it's like immediately going to MJ. Like it ties all these storylines together so seamlessly.
Yeah, I know the story flows so nicely. Like it does. Like you're so comfortably invested in everyone.
This scene, man. This scene again. I'm not even exaggerating. It makes me cry every time. And I love how it's reflected so well in the Spider-Man 2. Like they have this same scene, but they're a bit older. They're a bit more like hardened, you know?
Oh yeah. They're both exactly. They're both more mature.
But that's what happens when you get older. It's just like, dude, what we could have been something, you know?
Yeah. She's the one that got away for a while.
Well, he like went away.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about, obviously, but still. See, there's in Toby's performance, you could tell like Peter's like, shit, I'm getting to talk to her. This is like an actual conversation we're having now.
Yeah.
It's like when you talk to your crush and you're like, oh, okay, like this is just me and her right now. That's great.
Yeah, she's acknowledging me.
Yeah. Oh my god, like he really wants to know about her, man. It's so great. It's so good.
I know, it's so cute. So endearing.
I cried like a baby when you played Cinderella. Even so. Oh my god, man. He like remembers her first grade performance.
I know.
Like this could come off as creepy, but Toby plays it so well.
Well, yeah, I think he's the only one in her life that actually like sees her. You know what I mean? I think Flash probably treats her as an extension or like a trophy wife prop. You know what I mean?
And I gotta say, I know we've been talking a lot about Tobey Maguire's performance, but Kirsten Dunst is so good in it too. Just the way, like, when Peter says "really" when she says she wants to act, you can see her eyes widen, like, oh my god, like he's actually interested. You know?
Well, exactly.
You're gonna light up Broadway.
This whole conversation. I mean, yeah, they touched on what Peter wants to do when he graduates, but it's all about Mary Jane and his response to her.
Yeah, like Peter cares about other people more than he cares about himself.
Yeah, exactly. Like Peter has all sorts of problems, but
the tragedy of it is that he cares so much about like saving other people and helping other people that he like leaves his loved ones behind sometimes.
Oh yeah, well yeah, exactly. That's what makes him such a great character.
Yeah,
he's born with these gifts.
Blank Check, the podcast that I always reference on here, when they were doing their Sam Raimi series, they were talking about how like Spider-Man's in a way is like so clearly Sam Raimi just because like Sam Raimi has this fascination with the character. In all his movies, a character makes one decision that curses him for life. Like in Evil Dead, opening up the book and it curses Ash for life. In every movie, Ash is fucked now. And Spider-Man, he puts on the mask and that kind of becomes a curse.
Yeah.
You know? And like he loses loved ones. Like he disappoints people. And like all of Sam Raimi movies have that. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. I think Sam Raimi's
I love this. Sorry. It's just so funny to me. Crossfading MJ in the car. Anyways, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Him writing utility belt symbol.
I interrupted you though. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying Sam Raimi's just historically mean to his characters as well. All right, guys. Well, we had to switch mics because we hit some technical difficulties during the recording of the last one, so we're kind of jumping into the middle.
Yeah, I know. So sorry if it sounds suddenly weird.
Yeah, we're using a different mic.
I mean, from when it comes to syncing up on your guys' end, hopefully nothing. You guys won't have to do anything.
You won't notice any difference. Yeah, it's just going to sound different. I do love this sequence. I remember how much the theater laughed.
Yeah, dude, there's such this is such a core memory. This whole like him figuring out his power sequence.
Yeah. I like the idea of that being the front page of the newspaper. This company might be absorbed by another company.
Head of the New York Times.
Like in this government-sanctioned science company.
Yeah, I know. He's so old.
I'm telling you, man.
It's what you said earlier. I'm like, I do understand what you mean.
That gray hoodie is very nostalgic, too, in a weird way. Cause,
yeah, well, that's the hoodie he, like...
Well, everything, yeah,
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
But even, like, in the video game, too, when you first start out as Peter Parker, it's that outfit.
Dude, it is. Okay, this is the iconic Sam Raimi car that shows up in Evil Dead, too.
Yeah, yeah. No, this scene, man.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's just watch it.
I don't know. I prefer the Martin Sheen scene more.
Shut the fuck up. His delivery is so good.
Yeah,
so sincere.
It genuinely feels like my grandpa's giving me advice.
I know.
It is wild that this just became what Spider-Man is.
Yeah,
that line just like became the whole thesis for every Spider-Man adaptation from now on.
Yeah, his core identity became this. Oh wait, this part, right? The part. I can't look at that face, man. After he says that.
Well, his lip is quivering a little bit too.
I know.
It's so sad. It's like he's trying not to cry in front of him.
Yeah, well, he's so hurt, you know.
Yeah. I like how you could see his little sliver of red underneath. Sorry.
I know. But like from Uncle Ben's perspective, I mean, he raised him, you know, since he was like 6 years old. I think like the lore in the book, at least when I remember reading the novelization.
Yeah. And I mean, Amazing Spider-Man shows his parents leaving him when he was like around that age. Too.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's been like a decade.
Bones.
I know. I just love that they got Randy Savage for this.
I know. Were you so? I don't think I've ever asked you this. Were you like a wrestling fan as a kid?
No, and I still am not. I understand the appeal of it. Like, I know you went to a wrestling match and you said it was awesome, right?
Dude, it's so much fun. And I think next year I might be going to Vegas because they're doing WWE there.
Okay, that's rad.
Me and my friends really want to go. And I really want to get into it because, like, the few times I've seen it and the one time I saw it in person, it was so much fun.
Yeah. Also, Bruce Campbell. I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We got to acknowledge him. in his lizard jacket.
What's your because the third one is okay. The third cameo is all right.
Yeah.
The first two is where are they at? But what's your favorite? This one or the second up cameo?
That's a tough one because this one he straight up named Spider-Man.
That's why I prefer this one.
His scene in the second one is really funny though.
I love that Octavia Spencer's in this.
Yeah.
It's so much fun seeing a young Octavia Spencer. Yeah. You know, she's also in, if I'm not wrong, she's in another Sam Raimi movie. I think she's in Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I feel like her and Sam Raimi are friends.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I love her performance too. Like, I just like from her perspective, this skinny ass dude's about to fight Randy Savage. He's like, oh my god, all right, may God be with you.
I know. So he's ready, dude. That's so nostalgic.
I know. I remember the Spider-Man video game on PS2 had a feature where you can fight waves of bad guys, and by the very end of it, you get to fight Bonesaw.
Dude, you're bringing back so many memories with the video game. I played. I didn't grow up with video games like you did, but the Spider-Man and the Spider-Man 2 video game were games that I did play.
Yeah.
Repeatedly,
so we can share that together a little bit, you know?
Yeah. It's always nice when you and I did play one video game together, you know?
Oh, here we go. The Amazing Spider-Man.
I love that
He's
review.
just standing so awkward.
It is also fun that he's like, no, human spider is cooler.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that he's so young and immature where he's like, no, you got my name. I'm not going out there until you say my name right.
Yeah, they're not afraid of making Peter look like a prick.
What? I wouldn't say prick. Prick is like an insult word. You say that like, oh, you're being a prick, like an asshole.
He kind of is being a prick toward in this part.
Oh yeah, I guess I get what you're saying. I just thought it threw me off. I thought it was like a little harsh for a second.
No. I meant that as a compliment. That this sequence in the movie, especially when he lets just the robber go through.
You're right.
He is kind of an asshole, and I like that because that shows his growth later on.
Totally. He's young and irresponsible with his abilities.
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
I meant that as a compliment.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I like Peter. Hello?
Hello?
That's so fucked up they didn't let him know, though.
Oh, I know. To this little fucking kid, basically.
We didn't do it to anyone else, but let's do it to this guy.
Yeah, like what, 16, 17 years old? Or probably 17 or 18, but still.
No way.
Like, it'd be a short match. Playtime. Dude, he's like running to him. Randy Savage is just like hyped up.
He's not holding back at all.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Staying away from you. Did your husband give it to you? I think I pretty much know every line.
Oh, I know, right? We can just walk through this whole sequence. Like, it's so fucked up from an outsider's perspective. If it wasn't a superpowered being, they're giving him like weapons for the skinny kid.
Oh my god. Damn, Peter's got a dumpy.
I know, right? Well, no, Randy Savage has got nothing, though. Like, get a second to look at Randy Savage's ass. Oh my god, dude, isn't that terrible?
God damn.
Hell yeah. See, right here.
Oh, damn!
See what I'm saying? Randy Savage does not skip his squats.
You can crack some walnuts with those bad boys.
Do you think, like, I always wonder about things like this. Like, by the time Spider-Man became famous and he was, like, fighting bad guys, everyone knew who he was. Do you think that this collection of people that were at this, like, little underground wrestling event were like, dude, I think that was, like, Spider-Man when he was, before he became it.
You know how I think of it? I think of it as the people who saw the Beatles in an underground club.
Totally.
And they were just like, now they see them Wembley's like, I was there.
Exactly, yeah. Oh yeah, this part's so stupid, like, in a good way. Like, they give him $100 for knocking him down in
I know.
2 minutes.
Oh, this actor is great too. And speaking of, like, the thing that you and I always like to say of the no small parts?
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's like the king of that, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Every, like, side character, even the New Yorkers later on in the movie that are being interviewed are so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. This part, especially the first one. The second one's much more like character focused.
Yeah.
This one has a bigger world. Oh yeah, this is the important scene.
So fucked at what he
Yeah.
does.
Also, he did have a gun. Like, I do like the idea of a cop, like,
Hey, what the fuck? You didn't give him a what for?
yeah, like the cop didn't catch him and he's giving the civilians like shit for not fighting a guy with a gun.
Hey, what the hell, man?
It works,
Yeah,
the story's there.
No, but it's really funny. It's really funny to be a cop being pissed at a civilian for not beating that guy up.
Yeah,
Oh, man. Yeah, I forget how quickly it happens.
yeah.
Remember how in Spider-Man 3 we find out who really shot him?
Oh God, I know.
We're
that
going to
weird-
watch that movie. Mm-hmm. I am actually excited to revisit it. 'cause
I was gonna say me too.
I haven't seen that movie in a while. What if he accidentally knocks out that police officer by accident? He's like, that's my uncle.
Clocks her in the face.
Oh my god. I've said this to you in private a lot. I love how Tobey Maguire ugly cries. I know it has become a meme and everything.
Yeah.
But it's so, like, real.
Well, that I know. I'm tired of people making fun of shit like that. Like, I get it. I get the memes and stuff. But when people legitimately criticize it is when it bothers me because I'm like, no, human beings cry. Those are real emotions. He's not going to look like Andrew Garfield when he cries.
Yeah.
No shade to Andrew Garfield, but that was a little bit of shade to him. He looks good when he cries.
He's like a great crier.
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah. Also, I love how Cliff Robertson plays this scene of just like he's crying saying Peter, but he doesn't really say anything to him.
He doesn't give him like a moving speech or anything.
It's a well-written scene, but his performance is so good. Yeah. But going back to the Andrew Garfield thing, I think he's great in those movies, man.
He is good.
Yeah. But there's just a difference.
I'm talking about, like the wardrobe choices for him and all like kind of the writing and aesthetics they gave him, I disagree with.
Oh, yeah. No, those movies aren't great in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like...
his acting's great.
Yeah.
I mean, this part's iconic too. Come on.
I mean, he does look like kind of a rubber man.
A little bit, yeah. But
it's charming.
It ages relatively well compared to other stuff around this time.
But I will say, you and I saw it in the theater, when he puts on the real Spider-Man suit and is swinging through the city, that shit aged so well.
Oh, yeah, he looks phenomenal.
It's just this sequence feels a little off because we're seeing his human eyes.
yeah, and the outfit has too many like wrinkles and waves.
To where they couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, because like at least for Spider-Man, like the normal Spidey suit is skin tight, so you don't have as many like ripples along his hoodie and stuff.
That's a great call. I was thinking like, why does it work still so well in Spidey suit but not here?
Yeah,
and that makes sense.
I think it's harder to pull off like the physics of it.
Yeah,
I love this part too.
The music here is so cool too.
Yeah, Danny Elfman is carrying this scene super well.
It feels so tense.
Well, because it's not like he just became an expert web slinger. He's still new to all this, but he's just determined now to learn.
Oh, yeah. And, like, he's trying to manage, like, where to, like, shoot the webs,
Yeah.
Also, a thing that this movie does really well is, like, really express how, like, the height of where he's swinging from.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it feels scary sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But then, in the final swing, it feels like you're flying with Spider-Man.
Sure, yeah.
I never have felt that in any of the other Spider-Man movies that have come out since these Raimi movies.
Yeah, I know. They just filmed him swinging so well.
During this time, too, where the technology wasn't where it is now.
And I love how you can see how chaotic it is, how he's waving side to side a little bit.
Oh, and it feels like New York. Again, Sam Raimi New York is a specific type of New York. I will say, watching Multiverse of Madness and seeing Sam Raimi New York again was a delight.
Yeah, I know, I agree. As soon as that opening like set piece and like the action scene with the giant worm eyeball monster.
Remember when he drinks the martini, puts it down, puts on the cape? You and I were like nudging each other. We're like, Raimi's back. Did you ever watch Multiverse of Madness again?
No, not yet. I'd like to.
I stand by that movie. I really like that movie.
You watched it again?
Yeah, I did. I watched it at home.
That's cool, yeah. I like it too. I really liked it when it came out.
I don't care for the Illuminati stuff.
Sure, yeah. I remember that was pretty like forgettable.
But dude, when Benedict Cumberbatch comes back from the dead in that little Deadite style thing that Raimi does, and they put prosthetic makeup on him.
Oh, I mean, that was fucking crazy.
Dude, they put like real makeup on him. I was about to cry. I was like,
oh, dude, the boss battle right here on the PlayStation
Yes.
game, so scary. I don't know why, but it scared me so much as a kid.
so it's interesting. I played the games on Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah. I just remember that you only had PlayStation.
Yeah, I was a PlayStation gamer. I've always liked those sounds he made, too.
Oh, shit.
I know.
Man, Tobey Maguire really angry.
Yeah.
I always forget that Toby can dial it up when he wants to, because in these movies he's so timid most of the time.
Oh, yeah, I know. But, I mean, especially the second one, he, like, has a lot of, like, screaming and a lot of moments.
And I know this scene is mean, but that movie where he comes back from the war.
Oh, Brothers.
Yeah. That movie where he has that freak out scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, wow, he can dial it up.
Oh, he's amazing in Brothers. Brothers is not a perfect movie, but he was pretty fucking great in that movie.
I need to check that out. It's Jake Gyllenhaal in him, right?
Yeah, it's Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And Natalie Portman.
And it's the question of, did you fuck her?
That's kind of the movie, yeah. That's kind of the drama. Yeah.
And Jake is like, come on, man, it's Natalie Portman.
And then Natalie Portman's like, come on, man, it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, like, what do you want me to do?
No, but I mean, like, yeah, like Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire are great together in that movie. You can imagine, right? Like, they're both really fucking solid actors.
I'd like to check out that movie.
Yeah.
Just to see it. You know,
Yeah,
just to see Tobey Maguire do something else.
I'd recommend it, yeah.
I want you to watch Babylon just so you can see Tobey Maguire, like, do something insane in that movie.
Okay.
Tobey Maguire plays such an insane role in Babylon.
Okay, cool. I'll probably end up seeing it at some point before I die. You'll probably make sure it happens.
Oh, yeah. Oh, their simple hug, like, you don't hear what they say to each other.
Yeah.
God, like, any other movie would have, like, a close-up shot of her crying, of Aunt May crying. But the fact that they keep it on a wide and, like, this moment is not for us kind of thing.
Yeah, and the music even tones down. It's somber.
That's such, like, mature filmmaking. For how goofy Raimi is, that's very mature filmmaking.
Yeah, it has such a nice range, you know, of emotions and tones that it wants to give you.
I feel like Sam Raimi is a perfect blend of a guy that feels like he could have made, like, a Jimmy Stewart movie back in the 60s in terms of his, like, classical and like, instincts. But then he's also, like, a goofy genre filmmaker.
Yeah. He really has a lot of that stuff unlocked.
Spider-Man 2 is the perfect blend of that.
Yeah.
Where it has sequences where they're talking about poetry, but then it has Doc Ock freaking out in a hospital.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. This is our first glimpse of Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I love it. We're going to hear his laugh and everything coming up. I feel like you want to clap, right? You're like, oh, there he is.
I mean, when we watched this in theaters, people did, like, fucking lose their shit.
That's such a good transition, too.
So amazing.
Chess. That's what they say. I thought it was like Chaz.
Oh, yeah.
I was like 6 years old. I don't remember this.
Idiot.
That's so fucked up.
It's almost comical how horrible of a dad he is.
I know.
That's the thing that's, again, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but Sam Raimi toes the line very well between sincere and funny so well.
Yeah.
Where that is like a heartbreaking scene, but it's also really funny.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, well, my dad doesn't love me. I'll just go to MJ.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. I don't even care.
So that guy, that actor who played Flash,
Yeah.
he auditioned for Peter.
Yeah, I did know that.
Isn't that insane to think about?
He also got the role as like Deathstroke in the DC extended universe stuff, or the DC universe. Yeah. He was in the post-credit scene of the Justice League.
Should we start a league of our own?
Yeah, the Joss Whedon Justice League.
Also, you know what he's really good in? This is going to be a weird pull.
Huh.
He's really good in, like, this short, like, episodic run that he had on How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, okay.
He plays Marshall's friend. Yeah.
I was going to say, did it get far enough in How I Met Your Mother? Because
You-
I left
you've
off
seen-
in like season 6 or something.
No, you've seen this. You've
Okay,
seen this
cool.
episode. He's part of the Marshall's bachelor party when they're about to marry. Like, he's about to marry Lily and everything.
Gotcha. This is a great scene right here.
Also, he's in Magic Mike XXL and he's really good in it. Anyways.
Nice.
Oh yeah, this is so good. I just love the reality of it, like him just crying alone in his room,
Yeah.
and his aunt just sits next to him, just being like, "Yeah, we're both going through it."
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. They're just sharing that pain. I love what Aunt May has to say here.
She always just drops bangers.
I know, dude. Every scene.
Like, I mean, when we get to the Spider-Man 2 monologue that she has,
I know,
that's just
I know.
like unbelievable.
I know, dude. I know. But that's something that always like kind of freaks me out of like when it comes to family relationships or personal relationships of like if something unexpected and crazy happens, do I know that like the last thing I had with that person was on a high? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, it's important to, and it's never going to be perfect. You're
Yeah.
always going to fuck up.
Yeah.
Because we're human, but we have to come to terms with that. It's really sad.
Yeah. But it's like we got to cherish our relationships. That's all.
All right, baby.
Hell yeah.
We go through the paper. Like it's
The
amazing.
shot's so fucking cool.
I mean, this was in the teaser,
Yeah.
the iconic teaser of this movie.
That shot right there. I remember that was in the trailers.
I love it.
It's such a well executed montage.
I can't tell you how much I love these interviews.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right here. I love this moment too.
Can we
get a load of this?
Can we acknowledge how alive his New York feels? The We Buy Diamond scenes, flashing smoke
Yeah.
coming from the ground, police cars coming in.
It has this kind of the movement of it reminds me of like when Edgar Wright does his transitions, how they're always in motion when it does those fast.
You
cuts
mean
and
like
stuff.
those stylistic transitions? that he
Yeah.
does? Yeah. I mean, Edgar Wright, I wouldn't be surprised if he was influenced by Sam Raimi.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, funny story though. When Sam Raimi was thinking about doing Drag Me to Hell, he actually first gave the script to Edgar Wright.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Telling Edgar Wright, like, after seeing Shaun of the Dead, Sam Raimi was like, "Oh, you should do this."
Yeah, I was gonna say Edgar Wright kind of feels like a British Sam Raimi or something like that.
But you know what Edgar Wright said?
Huh.
He was like, "I'd just be copying you if I did it."
Fair enough.
But yeah, a British Sam Raimi. That's perfect.
Oh. Woo! Do you remember our audience clapped when he came in?
I mean, he's an icon, man.
Dude, the most...
Ted Raimi, he's the best.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
you know what we should watch sometime? I'd love to show you Drag Me to Hell.
Okay, we'll watch it sometime, yeah. Right here, these tiny little beats. Like, it's so funny, dude.
So here's something interesting.
Wait, can you tell me about it after?
okay,
I just want to
okay.
appreciate the jokes for a second. The timing's so good.
Guys, you can't see it, but Chris is like jostling right
I
now.
know. I'm like squirming. He doesn't want to be famous. I'll make him infamous. All right. Anyway, what were you saying?
Oh yeah. So he's only in this movie for like he has like 10 minutes of screen time in this movie,
That's actually more than I would expect. Yeah.
right? But he was such a firecracker that in the second one they added so many scenes with him. To the point they make like his son date MJ.
Yeah. He's just connected in the story. I love this scene.
This scene is so good.
This is a wonderful scene.
Dude, I also relate to the scene so hard. Like moving to LA and having to work like restaurant jobs and then telling people back home that like, oh yeah, I'm still a filmmaker, but no, I work another job, you know?
Yeah. Having to.
But then, like Peter, the people who love you don't care.
Yeah.
I get you.
Don't roll your eyes at me.
Oh man. Shout out to Enrique.
But Peter's response to this part is so good.
It's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know they're dating.
Yeah. But this is already such a bad start to their relationship. Like, not telling him what your job is.
Dude, there's such a lovely melodrama in this movie.
Yeah.
And in all the movies, there's like these relationships, these love triangles. It's so exciting. It's a kind of...
Well, that's the line that I love where he says, that's not low, you have a job. Like, he's just being real, you know?
The everyday melodrama of what you go through, like, as an adult growing up in New York, that's the shit that I feel like gets cut out in a lot of modern superhero movies.
Yeah.
Like this, like them meeting outside of a diner, kind of having this misunderstanding, trying to reconnect. The Tom Holland Spider-Mans don't do that much. They're always like on the go. Some villains here, they gotta go, you know?
Yeah, they doesn't really breathe a lot with his relationships.
Like the movie just doesn't stop, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes you need the movie to stop.
Well, yeah, it feels like life goes on. That's really what it is, you know? That which is important to Spider-Man because, again, his relationships are the most important part, in my opinion.
That's what bugs me when people... I think I already mentioned this earlier, but like... When people tell me, it's like, oh, these movies are very talky. And I'm like, man, I don't know. As an adult, I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
And also, it's so... I mean, we still get Green Goblin fucking shit up. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I also love how he's wearing green. To
Yeah.
symbolize what's on Harry's mind, you know? I like the specificity of that dig against Peter. It's such a Peter dig.
Yeah.
He's like, Peter, you're hanging out?
Yeah.
I like how Harry and I like how Peter and then Harry's dad are both on the same side of just like, who's the fuck is this girl, huh?
Yeah.
And they're both looking down at him.
Yeah.
He has it like Harry feels that pressure.
He has a little corner, too.
It's like, it's simple shit like blocking like that, where we've like missed that, you know?
Yeah, just good character drama blocking.
I know. Such good filmmaking. And it's like, people point out the crash zooms or like the whip pants, but that's the shit Sam Raimi's really good at, you know?
Yeah, he's good at just simple dialogue scenes.
Oh, yeah, now he's gonna set the camera up.
Yeah. And that's the thing that these movies have that, I mean, I do love a lot of the MCU. Don't get me wrong, you know, how much fun we had during Infinity War, but without like just the factory assembly line green screens formula that MCU found, it's like there's so much more room for creative shots and like, you know what I mean? Like making scenes interesting.
That's why you and I loved the Guardians movies so much when we were doing our commentary series.
Totally.
Those are the movies that don't feel like that.
Yeah.
They don't feel like factory made.
Totally.
And you and I like we said, we like some of the factory made shit. You know?
I love Mr. Jameson's outfit. That pink pinstripe
Yeah.
shirt.
Do you think Mrs. Jameson made him wear it?
Yeah.
Atticus. I never caught that he called him Atticus.
Is it To Kill a Mockingbird joke? Or is it...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
By the way, you know Robert Duvall is Boo Radley in Kill a Mockingbird?
Oh, I never thought about that.
I forgot that just Robert Duvall's in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm...
I don't think I processed that. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a hot minute.
It's just that he looks so young that seeing Robert Duvall with hair is weird.
That's true. I never thought about that he once had hair.
Oh, this part is brutal.
Yeah.
He thinks Elizabeth Banks is like hitting on him. Dude!
Oh, right here.
I can see that.
Elizabeth Banks kind of nailed that line delivery.
I didn't know who Elizabeth Banks was, but as a kid, I was like, damn, she is really cute.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is like in a great way. This feels like such a comic book interpretation of what a corporate room looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
These chairs that are pointed.
They all have their little teacups. What if they had... all they need is like a graph with like an arrow pointing upwards. That's so fucking horrible.
Oh, I love Willem Dafoe here.
Yeah, this is it.
Dude, as a kid, I can't tell you, like, that always made me jump.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, that scared me so much. Willem Dafoe freaked me out as a kid.
He's a scary dude. That makes sense.
And that seems like a cliche thing to say, but when I was a kid, that guy fucking scared the shit out of me. But it was funny, when he was in the Green Goblin costume, never scary.
Yeah, I know, right? He should have just not had the costume.
That is the thing that, in my opinion, doesn't age well, is the mask.
Sure, yeah.
In No Way Home, funny enough, when he has the hood, I think that looks fantastic.
The hood looks really cool, yeah. And it feels more authentic to the comic book version, too. Because he has more of like a hood, or he has like a pointy elf hat kind of thing.
Totally.
I just love that they got Macy Gray for this part, too.
Also, what's a Unity concert? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
This is a public gathering.
You know how in New York they have the Unity Parade?
Yeah. And also, I remember hearing recently that Bill Hader was a PA for this movie.
I mean,
it's pretty fun.
He was the guy responsible for throwing like the pieces of cement on James Franco's head when everything goes down.
Yeah, the debris.
And years later, when he meets James Franco in SNL, when James Franco's guest hosting, he's like, "Hey man, I remember you. You threw that on my head, didn't you?" Bill Hader said this on Paul Giamatti's podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm just recommending it to listeners because he also does an amazing Sam Raimi impression.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it, too. For listeners, I highly recommend.
If you've seen Sam Raimi interviews, like, no one has done it that well the way Bill Hader does it. Where he's like, yeah, so Bill.
Also, shout out to what just happened, but, when James Franco tried to kiss her and she just turned her head away.
Oh, yeah, I know. Shout out.
Brutal. And Peter just watched it. I feel like Spider-Man's spider sense is like the Force or something like that. Like what the Force is to the Jedi in Star Wars, where he just always feels the danger and you can use it as like a reason for him knowing what to do and how to survive the things.
And an underrated thing similar to the Force, an underrated thing about the Spidey sense is the sound design.
Yeah.
I feel like the sound design for the Spidey sense of the Raimi movies are the best.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
really feel like something's happening around him.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. I love the Peter Tingle joke, but I don't think they did a really great job with like showing his Spidey sense.
What it is, yeah. They just had his hair, like the hairs on his arms raised in Infinity War.
Those little tiny grenades,
Yeah, the pumpkin bombs.
The pumpkin bombs. That's what I was trying to look for.
Yeah.
But I saw a billboard that said Centauri Whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, Stan Lee.
Yeah, we got Stan Lee's cameo.
I saw a billboard that said Centauri Whiskey.
Yeah.
Have you seen Lost in Translation?
No. Or, I mean, I have seen it. Sorry, I don't remember it, though.
So Bill Murray's in Tokyo to do commercials for a whiskey, right?
Yeah.
And the whiskey's doing commercials for Suntory whiskey.
Oh, okay. So is that like a little nod to it or something?
I think Suntory's actually a whiskey.
Oh, is it like a Japanese whiskey brand or
Yeah.
something? I got it. Okay.
By the way, that iconic shot of Peter running and ripping his jacket open.
Shout out. That should just be the phrase when we talk over an iconic sequence or something.
Shout out.
Shout out to that.
Oh my god. Yeah. We just see skeletons. Yeah. It always throws me off.
That was the Sam Raimi,
fucking
wedge.
amazing. I love him so much for being that goofy.
It's Spider-Man. That shot's pretty iconic too. Him on the wall sideways.
You know what I'm excited for? Because I know James Gunn's going to do a great job with it. Is seeing the new Superman take his first flight.
Oh, yeah, James Gunn's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, I know James Gunn's going to do a comic book accurate of him running and taking out his trench coat.
He's got to have that sequence for
Yeah.
sure. When he just beats up all the cops.
I do love how Green Goblin just has a fist fight with the cops.
Yeah. I do love it. His first attempt at punching Green Goblin immediately just...
And you could tell they, like, cut the frames to make it look sped up.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And I feel like this is Spider-Man's first time getting punched or kicked. I gotta say, Green Goblin, you gotta work on that aim.
I know.
You got a pretty clear shot at him.
He's got Stormtrooper aim.
Yeah.
He bounced on those little inflatables.
Between the little inflatables, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Dude, my biggest weakness. Webs to the face.
I can't tell you how awesome Willem Dafoe's in this, man.
Yeah, no. The little noise he makes.
Okay, you know what's also crazy? Is that even Marvel knew that they couldn't top Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin.
Yeah.
So they're like, fuck it, let's just bring him back.
Oh, I know, yeah. I think, like, they're probably not going to do another Green Goblin. Well, I know, you know what's funny? I say that. They totally tried to do that with Dane DeHaan.
It didn't work.
It didn't work at all.
But it's kind of like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, where you're just like, are you even able to replace it? He so has defined what
Till
it was
you're
like.
fucking 90.
That shot right there.
Yeah.
The New Yorkers looking up at Spider-Man, low angle, come on.
Yeah, the music, too. That angelic music.
I just like how much Sam Raimi shows civilians, though.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I mentioned in the Guardians movies. Is like, I feel like the MCU has kind of lost that, of showing the people that these heroes are actually saving.
Also, Spider-Man didn't need to set her on a roof.
It looks prettier on a park. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. When I was a kid, I thought this was the coolest shit.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
how
God.
could you not fall in love with this dude? Like, right here when he's just swinging away.
I think of Sloane looking at Ferris running away. He's gonna marry me.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Peter being like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, showed you. I want to buy you something.
Yeah. James Franco does kind of rock in this movie. He plays such a doofus.
It's just kind of sad too. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the only way he knows how to like express love. Because that's all he's been shown, basically.
That's how his dad expresses love.
Yeah, exactly.
Look how Peter's sitting like a Chad. Like he's like on the arm. But like Sam Raimi thought about that. He's like, let him sit on the armrest.
But I also love, like, Toby's expression, too, is he's not, like, getting super cocky, like, for the camera. He looks like he's still spacing out. And kind of, he might be also frazzled by what he just fought. Like, you can see that in his face. He's still kind of like, what? He's trying to process what just happened.
And that's like Peter in a nutshell. Like, he's always somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's like in Spider-Man 2, they really nail that. It's just like, where
Yeah.
are you? Why are you never here?
Well, exactly, because he's still secretly, responsible for fighting this dude.
You know what I'd love to do as a commentary someday? We don't have enough movies yet, but I'd love to do the Spider-Verse movies.
Oh yeah, I would love to as well.
Maybe we'll wait until like the third one comes out.
And then we'll knock out all three.
As a trilogy.
Does it come out this year or next year?
Next year.
Okay.
Yeah, they wanted it to come out this year, but that was never going to happen.
Yeah,
and then the strike happened too, so it was like a double whammy.
That's such a good line.
That being said, I would like to do the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies sometime.
Sure.
I wouldn't be opposed to them.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have we don't enjoy Far From Home, but I like Homecoming and No Way Home.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe.
Okay, I just want to acknowledge the set of this. That the fact that they built another set with everything backwards to make it look like a mirror image.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I never thought about that.
Because it's all one shot when it whips to the mirror, so they had to build two different sets.
Okay.
Isn't that so cool?
Is that really a thing? That's crazy. I didn't really...
No, they've done that before. That's a trick that other movies have used before, too.
That's cool.
I remember Rogue Nation. It's a deleted scene. It's not in the movie, but Rogue Nation did that as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God. You know what I want to watch again?
Huh.
I want to watch Lighthouse again.
yeah, I know. You should, dude. That movie's fire. I love The Lighthouse.
Or remember when he shows up in Northman as a little cave guy that's like by a fire? He's like, I smoked this drug.
When October hits, we should make all 4 weeks horror movies naturally. We should plan ahead for it.
That'd be fun.
For me, I'm like, it seems so obvious. Like, well, yeah, we got to do horror movies all
as a commentary series, right?
Yeah. But maybe we can hold it to like different collections for the votes. Just be like, here's this collection, then here's another collection, here's another.
Like Scream movies or like...
But I don't think it needs to be a franchise because I think usually there's more than 4. We can do like Scream, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. Or we can do Lighthouse, Hereditary. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple different collections that people can vote on.
Yeah, there could be one where it's A24 horror.
That could be fun. Yeah, that's a nice way to do it. And then another one would be like Miramax horror.
Then it just starts getting weird.
Amblin horror.
Studio Film 4 horror. Like, it's just like weird studios.
Oh, right here. This bit's great.
He's like, is it a boomerang? It's insane that Goblin just tears through it.
I always liked what everyone says about this scene, too.
What?
Look, he actually protects Peter right there.
Oh, yeah. That's
like, who
true.
takes pictures? I don't know. Like, right in front of him.
Yeah, it shows that he has a little bit of a heart.
Oh, totally. Yeah, exactly. It says a lot about him. I'm sure Peter's been waiting to do that.
Oh, I know.
You know, I will say, I'm kind of amazed. So Green Goblin has the sleep gas this whole time. He never uses it again. Do you have any idea how easy it would be to just, like, in the next fight?
I know. It's really dumb.
It's
fine.
Fine,
I think the funniest thing about it, I know I mentioned the mask already, but it is funny that Norman Osborn is like, okay, I got this suit. That makes sense. It protects me. I got this, like, hoverboard. That makes sense. I can move around.
Yeah.
But what I now need to do is I also need to wear this goofy goblin mask.
Yeah, this green horrible mask.
That's why I think the hood does work better.
Yeah.
As a kid, the goblin mask was fun, but like, you know. And maybe in comic books it works better.
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, it's like a different kind of mask. It doesn't look like an actual, like, helmet kind of thing.
I remember, I don't know if I'm making this up, but I remember reading somewhere that Willem Dafoe, like, urged them to, he wanted the filmmakers to show his eyes. So he could, like, actually, like, because he said it's like, I want to be able to, like, actually act.
Well, it makes sense, yeah. And I think it does add a lot.
You know, Chris Evans talked a lot about, like, wearing the Captain America mask. It was so hard to, like, be expressive because he said you don't realize how much your eyebrows play a role in acting.
Yeah. I know. I mean, think about, like, Batman, too. Same thing.
Yeah, that's why Christian. That's the reason Christian Bale put on that goofy ass voice.
Yeah, the Christian. Yeah, I know.
We'll talk about it.
We're gonna get to those movies after this.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that sequence or like that conversation?
I think it's like all right.
Yeah.
I like honestly that sequence is the only one where I'm like, that kind of feels like a cheesy like early 2000s interpretation of what a hero and villain would talk like, you know? It's kind of the only sequence in this movie that I'm like, it doesn't really hold up for me. Especially the whole like him leaning against the wall, like it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I think like I understand what they're trying to accomplish, you know, the same kind of dichotomy of responsibility versus not.
We could work together. Yeah.
Yeah, with him just saying like we're powerful, we're above humans, we can go and fuck them up, think about what you want to do with these abilities.
The idea of it is there.
Yeah.
It's just, I know this sounds pretentious, but I just think like I was commending the blocking of this movie. That's the thing that bothers me about it. It's just the way it looks and feels it feels a little off.
Sure.
Oh man! Oh yeah, he's like a broke New Yorker.
He's such a sweetheart. I know.
I forget that this movie, it's the second one that dials up how broke he is.
Oh yeah. Rent. We'll get to it.
Well, yeah, because the first one, this one, he's living with Harry in Harry's apartment. You know.
Yeah. She's coming on to him so strong here.
So fucking strong. Even as a kid, I was like, "Come on, dude."
That doesn't go away. You know what I mean? When you get older, it's not just a kid thing. It was like, oh no, come on.
No, but then there's also those moments as an adult where you like go back to your hometown and you see that girl that you kind of crushed on.
Yeah.
When you were younger, she was like, "I always liked you," and you were like, "Damn it."
I know. I remember which podcast did we talk about that during? Oh, it was Superbad.
Oh, was it Superbad?
Yeah, it was Superbad.
Makes sense. Oh, this is the upside down kiss.
We're coming up on it, yeah. Danny Elfman just going hard on that piano.
I'm not completely sure, but I think this was the first movie where I saw like a makeout. Because this had to be the first movie where I saw like a guy and a girl making out.
That's interesting. I never thought about that. It might have been mine too.
A lot of firsts, for me.
Yeah, I know, right?
First crush as well with MJ. A lot of stuff going on. Seeing MJ in the rain.
Yeah, I know. I always love how satisfying that splash is when he punches them.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
It also just adds so much that he didn't have his mask on because he got in to save her so quickly that he couldn't wait to put his mask on. He just went in for it.
He wasn't ready, yeah.
Yeah. It's just such a small detail that they didn't need to put in.
This image is so iconic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's like among the ranks of just any iconic shot in different genres, not just a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Just movies.
Apparently, for both actors, this shooting this kiss was miserable.
Yeah, I heard about that too. The water was going up his nose, and he couldn't breathe. He literally could not physically breathe while they were kissing.
But they sold it so fucking well.
Yeah. Danny Elfman's score is so good here. I just want to listen to it for a second, too.
I know.
And that's that little na na na. That's like the kind of Mary Jane Peter music motif.
Kind of like reminds me of like listening to a Han Leia theme.
Totally, yeah. They're just different motifs that good composers use. It's such an iconic shot.
Yeah, and Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst were dating during this movie.
Yeah, did they date after?
Oh, they might have dated. I felt like they started dating during this movie, but they did a little bit after too.
Okay.
But it's funny how every actor who's played Peter has dated the actress who's played MJ in all the Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know. It is weird, isn't it?
Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire, all of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The fire scene, dude. Goblin's such a stinker in this scene.
I know we got. I forget this. Both the first and the second have like fire rescue scenes.
Yeah, the second one is like all right, but yeah.
Yeah. Which I gotta say real quick, you know, she says look up there because Spider-Man's coming.
Yeah.
He's pretty far away at this point.
Yeah, but
Like in the cut.
I
mean,
know.
maybe he was straight ahead. I don't know.
but they're trying to do a whole like is it a plane?
Yeah, it's a bird. It's a plane. Is that what you're trying to
Yeah.
say? Is it a plane?
All right, you know what I was saying.
Or is it a bird? I can't tell.
Let's go get some drinks.
This woman acted the shit out of this one scene she gets, and I've never seen her in anything else.
She had
Props
one
to
scene.
her.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that little.
She's actually coming back, and she was actually in the Void in Deadpool and Wolverine. Like they wanted her ending as well. You know how Elektra and all them are like, we want our ending.
Yeah.
She was also there, but we just didn't notice her.
She was there in that scene. Yeah, so you're not arresting me today. Sorry.
I do love that. Not coming back, Chief.
I love that in the new Spider-Man video game, you know, the Insomniac Spider-Man games, they always touch on that. The cops are never happy to see him. Like, that doesn't go away. There's always a warrant for his arrest. Like, if you stick around to the crime scenes after you fight bad guys, the cops pull in, and those be like, okay, nothing else for you, Spider-Man, get going. You know?
Yeah, it's a good touch.
Yeah.
I mean, the Insomniac Spider-Man games are very much indebted to Raimi.
Oh, yeah. They do such a good job blending kind of all of them and taking the best from each one.
I love that. So, dude, this action sequence is so cool.
Yeah, we're getting to the Matrix-y slow-mo scene.
Oh my god, it's so look at the editing in this sequence.
Yeah.
It's insane. Out of your mind.
It's not the best, not the best, comeback, but that's okay.
Look at this.
Yeah, right here.
Oh my god.
I was so stoked to see these come back in No Way Home.
Oh my god. I mean, we were all psyched. The way Raimi edits back and forth from a shot reverse shot is so cool.
Yeah. That zoom, too.
I wish I knew who edited these movies so I could actually give them props because
Yeah, this movie is so well put together. Like, every action scene is so easy to watch. Right here, this transition.
God,
It's so good, dude.
Oh my god, the Thanksgiving scene. No, that's not that.
No, this is... Oh, wait, no. Yeah,
Oh,
this is it. Okay, cool.
God, this movie's just like rocking, dude.
I know.
This
Was murder.
this is probably my favorite scene in the movie.
I also love that he brings up fruitcake. It's such like a who the fuck brought the fruitcake?
You know, he had his assistant go to a local bakery. Like, he didn't get the fruitcake.
Yeah, of course. Look at that look he gives his son. He's like, "Oh, you tapping that boy?"
Yeah, no, that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
Oh god. So he's such a creep.
I know. This shot's so cool. It's funny because we're so desensitized to these bits for Spider-Man,
No.
but this is like the first movie like on a big scale to do this sort of thing.
And it does it really well.
Like,
too.
when we were
oh
kids-
my god, dude, this is so tense.
I know. But like when we were 6 years old watching this movie was crazy. We were on the edge of our seats.
I still am.
Yeah.
It's still very effective.
It's a little sound design here when it hits.
Oh my god. It's like the Futurama meme.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how creeped out would
You're
you
a
be?
fraud, Spider-Man.
Oh, god damn it.
Sorry. Oh, yes!
I was going to say, how creeped out would you be, though, if...
Stick to get these cranberries.
I know, so many memes.
Sorry, how freaked out would I be for what?
If you thought you heard a noise and you turned around, there was blood on the floor. Like a tiny little drop.
If I was Norman Osborn, I'd be...
Wait, like, were you trying to do like a Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah. Oh, he's wearing green.
Yeah.
You, in the theater, you whispered to me, I love what the colors of their outfits.
Yeah, because he's wearing green and then Norman Osborn's wearing red and blue. Like they're wearing each other's colors. Oh,
dude, I love Aunt May slapping him on the wrist. Dude, Aunt May's so good in this scene.
She has a darkness inside of her.
Dude, the theater was losing their mind during the scene. We were all laughing so hard.
Oh, you motherfucker, I got you.
Dude, it's so funny. Look at him.
Yeah.
Knocked me down.
It has the same energy as like Patrick Bateman looking at the business card.
Yes, dude, yes. That's
Which is ironic because Willem Dafoe's also in American Psycho, but...
That's right, he is.
Yeah.
That's right. Dude, that's such a great comparison. Oh, what he says about MJ here is so fucked up.
Horrible. Enjoy the fruit. We're not going to fucking enjoy the fruitcake, Norman.
No one's going to eat the fruitcake.
Oh. It's so terrible. And he says it's so loud.
I hate how loud he is.
Broomer fast.
Do we know anything about the mom? Like Norman's wife?
No, they touch on it right there, and you see a portrait of her in the background at their house.
Got
or at
it.
least a woman, a portrait of her. So presumably the mom, though.
Because I could see Harry being like a mama's boy, but his mom passed away or whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's clearly more than implied. That's a lot of what I think Harry's emotional, problems are. I was trying to find a word for like volatile, like volatility. I don't know.
Yeah. I like the simplicity of the mask just hanging on an armrest.
Yeah.
Do you think Osborn just went home, put the mask on the sofa, and he's like, okay, he can talk to me here?
Yeah, exactly.
I put the nice dude cap on the sofa and try to talk to it.
The iconic Stay Nice hat.
Damn. Willem Dafoe's like, I am in a black box theater doing Shakespeare right now.
yeah, exactly. Tiny little theater. This scene is so intense, but it's so meme that I can't. It's here.
It's really funny. It's.
I feel so horrible laughing.
She thinks the devil's here for her.
Oh, I know. Finish it. This is like Sam Raimi just having a blast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, this is like a Deadeye thing to do, to like burst in on you in the middle of a prayer and be like, finish your prayer.
Yeah, I know. It's like something that would happen to Ash.
Yeah, totally.
It's so funny, though.
I know. It again, only because of the meme context.
No, but I think Sam Raimi was intentionally making that funny, though.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
You don't think so? She was praying, and then Goblin comes in and is like, finish it. That feels like Sam Raimi's sense of humor.
I don't think he would do it that way, because the scene is actually very dramatic.
Well, what's good about him is that he can toe the line, but I'm just saying, I felt like that was semi...
I don't think so at all, honestly. But
Okay.
Fair enough.
We can agree to disagree. See, this is funny. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything just suddenly... I remember I had a friend in elementary school, who watched
You had another friend?
Yes. I had a friend in elementary school who watched Little Miss Sunshine and told me how hard he laughed at like all the wrong parts. Did he tell you about that?
Really?
Oh yeah, he was saying like, yeah,
That sounds like he was intentionally trying to be edgy.
no, he was just too young. He was just too young and emotionally immature.
So, like, what parts did he really laugh
He was saying like, yeah, when they told him he can't fly, and he's like, ah!
What?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's not why I told you to watch it.
Yeah, God. There are really funny moments in Little Miss Sunshine, but still.
Yeah. This is another moment when what we talked about, where the music turns off and the movie just breathes for a second.
I know.
They're just two people sitting and talking, and there's no like, what did Mr. Stark think? Oh, I can't live up to him. You know, and it's not just like, you know.
Where are the glasses? Do you know where the glasses are?
Yeah. It's just two people talking.
Yeah. It's... You know what movie's surprisingly good at that? Is the Spider-Verse movies. Even though they're so... those movies are so fast-paced.
Yeah.
But they still take moments. Like him talking to his uncle. And, like, talking about the shoulder touch and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, and focusing on, like, you know, Miles' drive to school in the beginning. And there's a lot of just, yeah, like you said, it breathes.
Even though a movie that's so intense. You know?
Yeah, that's so frenetic.
Yeah. To be honest, I feel like a lot of the MC movies are like that. Again, aside from Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians breathes. It's actually surprisingly good. I'm taking a moment to breathe.
Him and Kurt Russell playing catch, you know?
Or just moments where they kind of talk on the ship, too. And,
yeah. It's beautiful. Oh, yeah, I mean, Gamora and him just listening to music and dancing. Yeah. Anyways, why are we talking about Guardians? When I was a kid, I thought this is what you had to say.
oh, of course, yeah.
I was like, okay, so you just gotta be extremely open-hearted to the first girl you have a crush on. Or Alfred Molina's like, you gotta read poetry.
Theater poetry. I know. Toby didn't need to read poetry. He's got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
he had it all under the
dude,
in the
it's in
bag.
your bones.
Yeah, you are poetry, man.
Peter, you are poetry.
Yeah, May's being a little stinker.
Damn, Kristen Dunst is pale.
Yeah.
I just noticed that, her touching Tobey Maguire's hand. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Oh, and he's wearing like all black and his little turtleneck. He's so fucking like brooding. Oh, it's dark green. I will say, like, James Franco did a great job. He didn't speak a word,
I know.
but his face was like so devastated.
I like whenever it cuts back to the mansion, it feels like we're looking at the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, I know.
It's so empty, and it's so like... It's like it was furnished to show an open house, not like a home.
I know, it looks like the Addams Family or something like that. Like, it's so not, like, it doesn't feel like a home.
Yeah, which is obviously the point, but yeah.
And once again, they're talking from across, you know, the house, but...
They're so far apart.
They're far apart, and also he's higher than he is.
It's blocking.
Blocking.
He's just trying to use him.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah. That's the line I always remembered. I'm going to rectify certain inequities. It's the most like corporate way to tell his son that he's going to spend more time with him.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus Christ. We'll circle back around tomorrow.
We'll put a pin on this mutual collaboration that we have.
Then I'll meet the deliverables.
We'll meet the deliverables. All right, Dad. Like,
That little smirk.
yeah, I know. G. I like that he says G.
Yeah. Like, you can tell that was probably written in the script and Toby didn't want to say it. So he's like, let me just skip over it. Like, gee, did I?
But it's still so wholesome.
It is very wholesome.
Dude, Aunt May rocks.
I know.
Man.
She's one of my favorite movie characters. Just like...
Well, this Aunt May specifically.
Oh, yeah. Rosemary Harris is her name. I
You know
believe.
who's another Aunt May I love?
Marissa Tomei or Sally Field?
The Insomniac game. Aunt May.
Oh, yeah.
That Aunt May fucking rules.
She's, again, a perfect blend. Perfect blend, you know?
The Marissa Tomei, not to throw shade at Marissa Tomei, I think she's a great actress, but the Marissa Tomei Aunt May is probably one of the worst written characters.
Yeah, I agree.
She's really bad.
She gets better in the third movie, naturally. You can tell they really pumped her up in the third movie to try to make it up to you.
Well, to be honest, it felt like it was going off the steam of the Insomniac thing, what they did.
Oh, a lot of Spider-Man No Way Home was going off the steam of the Insomniac games. Getting the spider come out to play.
Are we already at the final act?
Yeah.
This movie moves like crazy.
I know.
I mean, we also are recording this commentary 2 days apart, so...
Yeah, and we were already like 30 minutes in when we started, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
That's terrifying.
I like that she's in her PJs.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm all the way up here.
What the fuck are you doing? What?
I don't know. Sometimes you just don't have shit to say. You know?
Start making funny sounds.
Yeah, funny is being very generous.
Went up the water spout. Came the goblin and took the spider out. God, Willem Dafoe's so good.
Norman's on sabbatical, honey. It has to be one of my favorite Green Goblin lines, and it's not even in the Raimi movies.
That's true.
It feels like Sam Raimi just wrote that line for him.
Yeah, I know. They nailed him.
It was so cool seeing Tom Holland fight Willem Dafoe.
It was awesome. Yeah, I know.
And then, like, Toby coming in the middle, stopping him from killing him, remember? Yeah. So cool. No Way Home is great.
Yeah, No Way Home is a badass movie.
It's probably my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Oh, easily mine, yeah.
And even outside the cameos, I love him.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like this sequence, there's a thing you can do in the second Insomniac Spider-Man game like that, where they added in a new like launch feature when you want to start swinging, where you use two webs and then like zip yourself forward.
That's cool.
You can tell they probably took a page out of this book.
I've only played the first Spider-Man Insomniac game and the Miles Morales game.
Yeah.
I haven't played Spider-Man 2 because...
It was for PS5 only.
Yeah, I know.
Again, small details of her shoes falling down just to add like that might have even been a decision in post.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's like that's the tiny shit he's good at, you know?
Yeah.
It had to be a tram full of children.
Of course, yeah.
I feel like
But-
upcoming is like one of your favorite shots.
It is, yeah. It tells you everything you need to know. Right there.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's a shot I think you referenced to me a lot.
Yeah, well, it's like just the choice. I know it's like an obvious superhero thing, but
No,
it's
but
also
it
like
works.
that's what Peter's been wrestling with this whole movie is his own personal life and balancing it with being a superhero and the greater good behind that.
And as a good sequel, Spider-Man 2 like nails that. Like,
Yeah,
even
well,
harder.
it challenges that, shows that living with that choice isn't all sunshine and rainbows.
It's not just raindrops falling on your head, you know?
But yeah, and even down to like, sorry, I just love that. He had to lift his eyes for that moment when he sees it.
I know, it's Willem Dafoe being like, they need to see my eyes.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the whole like goblin flying through, that still looks good.
Yeah, yeah. And notice we didn't goof on any of the CGI of Spider-Man too. I gotta stress, he looks great, probably because the outfit's skin tight and it's less busy work, you know?
The only time the CGI didn't work for me was
The beginning?
Yeah, the
when
beginning
he's in the wrestling suit?
yeah. Besides that, this movie holds up really well.
Yeah. I also like the detail, this is small, but like that trail of smoke that's always behind Green Goblin while he's flying.
Oh yeah.
It's just something, I'm just appreciating all the little things about this
Like
movie, you know?
everything was considered.
Yeah.
I forget how like intimate this final set piece is.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then even when it gets to the final fight, it's just him and Green Goblin.
Oh, in like a quiet, abandoned hospital. Okay, that part's a little sweaty. I'm okay with it. That part's a little sweaty.
I know.
This part's great, though, of everyone else being involved. This is like good Spider-Man shit of like New York just pitching into the final
Well,
fight.
so there's this story behind this where Blank Check talked about this in their podcast. But this movie came soon after 9/11. And apparently the premiere in New York for this movie, when this scene happens of like, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us, like everyone in the theater like stood up.
That's fucking badass.
Because it was just felt like New York won something there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it felt like the movie acknowledged like what the city had been going through.
Yeah, and the way it came together, too, to heal.
Yeah, that was the line where people apparently in the premiere like went crazy.
That gives me chills to think about, though, because that's like... Yeah, I'm a West Coaster, and I was 6 years old when 9/11 happened, whatever.
But when you hear about the spirit of New York, that's what you always hear.
Totally, I can only imagine being in that, dealing with something like that, and then having, even it's a popcorn blockbuster movie, but just uplifting you in that way. That's got to be really powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is an incredible fight scene. I watched this scene just for fun. And when I watch movie reactions to the scene, I skip to this part all the time.
We talked a lot about the editing, but I would recommend like just anyone just watch this scene for the editing because it's like masterfully done.
Yeah, and the camera work too, how it whips with every punch.
Yeah, every impact feels felt.
Yeah.
It also like they beat up Spider-Man so hard. I remember you said you were I remember I was showing this to my younger sibling and it was kind of just like, oh shit, this is bloody. You know,
Yeah, it's pretty dark. But even like, I know that's like a funny sound he makes, but it's like realistic. He had the wind knocked out of him, and we make weird sounds when we get punched.
When we watched this again in theater, it was like pin drop silence during this scene.
Yeah,
Just like the way he gets punched and you hear it, it's so rough.
and I also love that you can feel his desperation. He's trying to web. He's not giving up.
This is gonna be funny to bring this up, but it reminds me of the Tony Stark and the
Thanos.
Iron Man and Thanos fight,
Yeah, yeah.
where it feels so desperate. They're trying
Oh, yeah.
everything. Oh yeah, just that trying to pull the
Yeah.
web. Yeah, I think that No Way Home Tom Holland and Green Goblin fight was really trying to reference this, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, this is also the moment where he realizes that the people he gets close to are in danger because of him, which informs his decision of not getting with MJ at the end.
Yeah. This whole it's there, but he commits his life to being Spider-Man because he believes in his responsibility with his abilities.
It's such a brave thing to do for the ending.
And then and it leads brilliantly to the second movie that it shows the real consequences of committing his life to that.
Yeah.
That his personal life is going to suffer.
Yeah.
It's just good shit, man.
It is good shit. I can't wait to watch the second one.
I know. I also have wanted to get a tattoo of Spider-Man with it looking beat up for a long time.
Like this look?
Yeah, with the torn mask and bloody nose and bruises and shit.
You should eventually do a Spider-Man tattoo.
I'll probably do some sort of Spider-Man tattoo at some point, yeah. Right now I got bills,
Oh, I know. You know what one of my favorite tattoos of yours is?
What?
Is your Breaking Bad pink teddy bear one.
Oh yeah, that's one I'm sure not a lot of people really notice because it's higher up in my arm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, huh? I wonder if many people haven't seen that. Oh, yeah?
Again, the editing's so good. There's a whole video essay you guys can look up if you haven't seen it that analyzes this sequence
Oh,
specifically.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. You and I quote this scene so much.
Yeah.
This moment right here. Be a son to me.
I know.
You say that so often.
This delivery is so good. Again, it finalizes him honoring with the impact that Uncle Ben had on him.
Yeah, it wraps that up.
Yeah.
Oh.
For listeners, I hope your sound is not out of sync. Altaf is just saying the lines before
That's
they happen.
my bad. I know.
Just so you're not confused.
Yeah. Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
And it's like that final, he had a human moment at his last breath. And it was his protection of his son. It is in a weird way that is his one way of showing love to his son.
Yeah, that he doesn't want his son to know that he was this monster.
Yeah.
And
Peter does honor that promise.
He does at his own expense.
Yeah.
He literally honors that at his own expense, believing he's like, okay, I'd rather have my best friend know that.
It's that melodrama that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that we miss sometimes.
Good soap opera shit.
That works, you know? Yeah, the ending of this movie is so dour.
Yeah.
The fact that now Harry thinks that Spider-Man killed his dad. He also it ends basically at a funeral where Peter has that tough conversation with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
And him becoming Spider-Man, as great as that final swing is, it's a tragedy,
Yeah. Well, exactly. I know. It truly understands what it is to be Spider-Man.
Think about the time this movie came out to release the first full-fledged Spider-Man movie, and to have an ending like this is so brave.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it's because it was probably looked at as so the opposite of Batman, but they really made it a Batman ending.
Yeah, This journey of us going through the Raimi Spider-Man to the Nolan Batman, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. This is probably the most excited. This is probably going to be the most animated we're going to be in all of our commentary series.
Because these are movies we genuinely grew up with.
Yeah, they're very, very special to us that we've analyzed for years.
Like many of the internet has, but still.
Yeah.
You'll probably get to hear a different side of us.
Yeah.
God, I love how red her hair is. It's like a comic book, yeah.
Well, in the sequels, they actually make her hair look more natural red.
I know.
This is the first one that looks much more clearly dyed.
Beloved husband and uncle.
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm gonna get everything I wanted.
Yeah. He literally has like a great life just offered to him on a silver platter. I mean, I'm not saying Mary Jane's gonna decide all of that, but you get what I'm saying.
But this is like his whole childhood. He wanted to be with her. You know?
It's everything he wanted. Right in the opening scene of the movie, it's about Mary Jane.
This story's about a girl.
Yeah. And now his priorities just completely flipped.
I do love how the movie starts like that. It's about a girl. It's so good. Oh, you know what's funny? Every time I watch this movie, and I've seen it so many times, I always forget they do kiss.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I don't know why I missed that.
That is weird. Yeah, I was going to say, I remember this very well. Yeah, it's like...
I just remember the Chad-style walkaway that he does.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kidding. I don't want people to take that seriously.
It's so tragic, isn't it?
Yeah. It's also crazy that the voiceover comes back.
Yeah.
They just got rid of it in the second and third one, right? The voiceover?
No, it comes back in the second one.
Does it?
Uh-huh. When I remember, I've watched a lot of reactions to this movie on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're like cracked to me.
Okay.
And everyone gets so frustrated in like a good way.
Well, yeah.
Like, but they're always like, "Oh, what?" You know.
I mean, I know.
But it's so powerful, though. You know.
I mean, I still get frustrated, and I've seen this movie so many times.
I know.
It's that thing, and we'll talk about it in the second movie, but it's like, eat the cake, Peter. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It builds off of everything the second movie builds off of everything this movie establishes so well. Yeah. I said it a million times, but it does such a good job of showing the real consequences.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to feel perfectly fulfilled and happy being Spider-Man forever.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but the second movie is a good sequel.
We like the second one. We're quite fond of it. It is pretty fucked up that he just walks away from her when she starts crying. He doesn't try to console her, but listen, no, I really value you. It's not whatever, like you're gonna go kill it out there. Nothing. He just walks the fuck away.
Like obviously like a well-paced strut too. Like he's like getting out of there.
I mean, it's a defense mechanism because clearly Peter's in pain too.
Yeah. Sorry, I just need to listen to this.
Yeah. How she's behind him too.
Who am I? Oh God.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God. All right. A good final squid. And then we get the
yes, the hardcore choir.
I love it's like
which the choir goes really hard every time Spider-Man's swinging. It almost gives Spider-Man this angelic idea. You know what I mean? Like he's like swinging from heaven or something.
It literally feels like I'm flying with him. How does this holds up so well?
Yeah.
The American flag.
Fuck yeah. Okay, I wanna hear the song too for a second when this movie officially ends.
Sure.
Because shout out to this is a song by Chad Kroeger. This is not Nickelback, guys. Okay. Oh, it does. I thought it comes in like right now. Anyway, the famous Hero song is not Nickelback. It's Chad Kroeger featuring Josie Scott. Just want to put that out there. A lot of people write down, by Nickelback.
People always fuck it up. And
it's the singer of Nickelback writing it by himself. Just music facts.
Music facts with Chris.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, what is there to say, right?
Yeah, and I mean, there is really nothing to say. I think I've seen the second one so much now, and I've seen analysis on the second one so much that this is the one that I actually revisit more often now.
So you're probably really appreciating this one?
Well, the first one is the one that's like a lot more like fun and everything. And the second one is still fun, but even when I was a kid, the second one was more like, this is the heavy one.
Yes.
And also as a kid, funny enough, the second one was like, he's losing his powers.
This song is awesome too. I do love this song. Yeah. But
I do love how you're like, it's not Nickelback.
But
hero. I just know that part. I just know hero.
It's a hero can save us. I'm not just gonna stand here and wait. I'll hold on to the wings of the eagles. Watch as they all fly away.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much to our patrons for supporting us. And last but not least, Well, actually, hey, just letting you guys know, stay tuned next week when we do Spider-Man 2.
Hell yeah.